of all the kind of things that you encounter with guys and where they screw things up, what's kind of some of the maybe one of the main problems that most men struggle with or that they get wrong when it comes to women?
Well, the main thing is they see problems, but they ignore them, you know. And whether they see them consciously or subconsciously, meaning like their intuition picks up on it, and it, you know, they get that rumble in the tummy, you know, the pain in the chest, maybe that little voice in the back of their head, somebody's like, yo, dude, you know, you want to be careful with this one because, you know, she's got 5 kids from 4 different fathers, and
Right.
she's covered in tattoos. She's got daddy issues, and she's on crack. And it's like you know, some guys would be like, that doesn't matter. Shut up. I'm going to go and have some sex now because she likes me.
Right.
You know, that's an extreme example, obviously, but a lot of guys really suck at paying attention to red flags, acknowledging them, and then adjusting course. They'll just plow on forward and they'll march themselves into the slaughterhouse, and they get spit out the other end, ground up, and they're like, what happened? Like, I didn't even see any of that coming. To say, you kind of did, you know, you just ignored it.
Yeah, and you've got a whole section in the book about all the red flags. I think is pretty relevant. Going through all those and seeing those things that it's like, I think maybe it's obvious, but guys don't realize it at the time because they're in it. They're thinking about how she's different than every other woman, so they're ignoring these things. But it's like when you have it in that format where, okay, these are the red flags. It's kind of hard to deny them because it's like it either is yes or no at that point.
Yeah, it's a skill that you need to develop. It's a muscle that you need to tone. You know, you can call it whatever it is, but it's a talent that men need to learn, and it's a very important talent that men need to learn, and very few guys are able to learn it or willing to learn it. You must get a lot of white knighting too. You know, some of the things that you say, it's like, hey man, leave her alone sort of thing. You know, you're a bad guy, John, sort of thing. It's like, no, I'm just talking about facts here. You know, if you have a problem with the facts, you know, the problem isn't with anything else, but with you believing them, you know, sort of thing. Right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like I like to look at life as a lot of times as probabilities, and it's like the things that you point out as red flags. Those are factual things, and then it doesn't mean that because a woman's covered in tattoos that she's not a good person, but the probability based on the statistics is that it's probably going to be something that's going to be a problem. It doesn't necessarily 100% apply to everyone, but you should look at probabilities when you look at these things. And it's like, especially if there's multiple factors, right? I mean,
Yep.
if you've got multiple vectors of something that is, you know, it's a high probability. If you know, what's a doctor or, you know, Professor what's Clue, or was it Colonel Mustard is, you know, in the billiards room and he has the knife and, you know, all those things, then probably pretty good chance he's the murderer. You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's well,
yeah.
it's one of the things that I deal with in the 20 red flag chapter is look, you know, you can ignore my warning here. You can, you know, you can proceed forward and you can get into a relationship with a woman that's got these red flags, all of them, some of them, but just understand that your probability of dealing with issues down the road in the relationship that could be quite costly or very expensive will go up dramatically. So, you know, govern yourself accordingly.
Yeah.